bare minimum Minuteman kit for you, the prepared citizen. Hey everybody, I'm Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness, and in this video we're going to talk about my recommendations for bare minimum equipment for the modern Minuteman. So this video is kind of just a quick reiteration of Minuteman minimum gear. Before we get too deep into the video though, I have to mention a very, very vital prep. Antibiotics and making sure that you got enough of those prescription meds that you need for a long-term event. Thus, we got to talk about Jase Medical. Links to the description below, coupon code asymmetrical10. Prescription antibiotics and medications shipped directly to you from their doctors. This setup here is a pretty decent setup. It's a slick plate carrier that I got my plates in. I got a double pistol mag pouch here. I got my knife here. I got a chest rig on. But what I would add to this to make it actually the full bare minimum Minuteman kit is a pack. I definitely would have to have a pack with hydration inside, with more ammo, with food, with shelter, with spare socks, foot powder, you know, all those necessities. So that would definitely be on. Bare minimum. Do you have to have the plates? No, you don't have to have the plates. You can just run the chest rig in the pack. IFAK, bare minimum. You have to have an IFAK, good IFAK. This is a Bear Fac from Bear Independent. Highly recommended. People talk about like it's more expensive. Well, yes, it is, but how much is your life worth? And it's good IFAK with all North American Rescue, American-made components inside. So I like that. And it does have the decompression needle. Very important to me. Should be important to you. If you don't know how to use one, learn how to use one. 6 mags, I feel, is the bare minimum loadout, plus 1 in the gun. For me, I feel very inadequate with only 6 mags. I prefer having at least 10 on my rig and 1 in the gun. Prefer having, you know, at least 11 mags. Situationally dependent though, admin pouch. I got my binos in here, gun oil, my cleaning kit, calories. I have another tourniquet on this side, spare parts kit, a multi-tool. I think I got a baklava in there, some nitrile gloves, you know, stuff like that. Admin pouch. IFAK, knife. Knife I feel is very important. I think that's bare minimum, that's part of that bare minimum gear. And of course, your rifle. Do you need a secondary? A handgun? No, you don't necessarily need a handgun. I highly recommend it because there's a lot of situations where, especially as Minutemen, depending on what's going on in the world, where you will need to ditch your gear, walk into town or be around other people, more on the down low, the gray man type stuff. And you can conceal a handgun on your person, whereas you can't conceal an AR-15. So that is why I primarily want a handgun. Is it a secondary weapon system? Yes. If this one goes down, I can go to that. I would be really hurting if I was in that situation. Never had that happen in real life. So it is what it is though. I do recommend a handgun, a rifle, an IFAK, at least 6 mags, an admin pouch with appropriate stuff, a knife, and map and compass. Also, you gotta know where you are to know where you're going. And you gotta be able to use those basic land navigation at least. You gotta be physically fit. You need a head covering. You also need ear pro, eye pro. What is that? Ear protection, eye protection. What else do you need? You need good quality footwear. Vitally important. I highly recommend merino wool socks. Merino wool socks are just the best, hands down. Hot weather, cold weather, they function and they work great. Keeping your feet dry and taking care of your feet is also vitally important. So foot powder is also vitally important. Having appropriate clothing for the weather. Also, obvious. If it rains a lot, have Gore-Tex, poncho, something to wear. Gore-Tex is not the best, doesn't breathe very good, it's more noisy. You know, there's a lot better products out there, but Gore-Tex is what it is. If you have some, it'll function just fine. Earth tone clothing, as you see, I'm not wearing anything special. I'm just wearing a green long sleeve top. I have these the Helicon Urban Tactical pants on, my favorite pant, hands down. This pair I've had for like 10 years, I think. It is my rattiest, falling apart pair of pants. But they're still, I mean, they still function as pants. So I'm highly impressed with that. Gloves. Gloves are vitally important. These are the Blackhawk Solag gloves. They don't actually make this style anymore. They have a new, like, higher speed, like, I don't know, more modern looking version of this glove. Haven't tried that version yet because this pair I've had for like 15 years and I have had to sew up a couple places. I got one more place I got to sew up a little tiny bit, but full grain leather, and they work great. I use these all the time. Training on weekends, running around. I've done gardening with them. I've done a lot of stuff. I've cut up trees with chainsaw, chopped wood, did a bunch of different things with these gloves, and they're still fully functional. And I have a standby pair of these also. As well as, I have mechanics gloves, stuff like that. I don't recommend mechanics gloves. They don't last very long. You're gonna be replacing them, like guys that wore them in the military, wore them on mission, they'd be replacing them almost every single time they came back. I mean, it's a waste of money. These are like 80 or 90 bucks, but the $25 to $30 in mechanics gloves are, you're gonna go through 20, 50 pairs of those things before these wear out. So money well spent here. Water. You gotta have water on yourself and enough calories to support you for the length of your mission, of whatever it is you're doing out there. Now, things may go sideways and you end up not having enough calories or water, but hey, I mean, that happens. You can only carry so much. That's where physical fitness comes into play. Physical fitness, the more fit you are, if you're gonna be going out and doing this stuff, you've gotta be as fit as you possibly can. If this is gonna be your role, if you're gonna be out with tactical gear on, rifles, stuff, doing the things, you have to be fit. I mean, super, super fit. I'm not super fit, but I'm getting there. As fit as you possibly can. That is one of the most important things. And you gotta get right up here. You gotta be able to adapt and overcome quickly. So these are some of those things talking about bare minimum Minuteman gear. I think that pretty much covers all the bases. I think if you had everything I just talked about in this video, you'd be very well off. So I love you guys. Have a wonderful day and blessings to you and yours.